Namaste. I welcome all the viewers to this national webinar series on Yoga Ramayana Vishwa Kosha history. We are very blessed to have one of the most eminent professors, Professor A.N. Pandey ji, joining with us to speak on Hanuman Chalisa.
Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Pranam to Guruji, pranam to the friends of all the friends of S-VYASA. My humble pranam to the viewers. Friends, last episode we have discussed about Jagrat Swapna Sushupti and how the mind becomes the Mahan or Mahat before going to the deep sleep state, and how the same mind, once turns back, it goes to the dream state. Those things we have discussed, and we are doing research on Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kuch Veda, Gavahi Muni Puran Vide Veda. So what Tulsidas ji is telling, that there is no difference in Sagun and Agun, or we can say that having matter and energy, there is no difference, but at the same time he is giving the emphasis that this is being repeatedly told by even Muni, Puran, Buddha Purush and Veda also. Today we are going to take up one of the Munis, what he tells about Sagunahi Agunahi in terms of his own philosophy. That Muni, that Rishi is very famous, and he has given Sankhya principle. He is Kapila Muni, and Kapil Muni gave the Sankhya principle, by which we will analyze today, by which how the Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachu Veda is endorsed. Before going to the deep of that, what is Sankhya? We say that there is a cosmology of Sankhya, somebody calls it. Cosmology means it is a doctrine of the creation, and how the creation, the doctrine tells how the creation happens in the universe, the whole universe. So that is a doctrine, or we can say documentation related to the cosmos, where we know the concept of creation. At the same time, Sankhya philosophy, it is cosmology of Sankhya, they call it. So cosmology we have understood that it is related to the cosmos, where all the lokas or all the domains like physical domain, subtle domain and spiritual domains are covered. Now, what is his philosophy? What is the Sankhya philosophy? So Sankhya philosophy, what philosophy he gives? He tells that the Prakriti or nature is the creator, and he creates the matter. Prakriti creates the matter with the help of substances taken from Brahman or from the Purusha. That is one line we can say, or in one term we can say, that creation of matter by the Prakriti or by the nature with the help of the ingredients taken from the Purusha. That is what is Sankhya philosophy or Sankhya principle. So with these two analysis, we will see how the Kapila Muni, he gave this type of concept, and what is the implication or what way it is going to help us. Swami Vivekananda used to tell about Kapila Muni. He used to say that Kapila Muni was the first philosopher in human race or in human civilization. Not only that, he was the first philosopher, but he was the first scientist also, because he had found the secret of Prakriti or secret of nature, how secretly Prakriti or nature is creating matter and what are the ingredients in that, so that matter is fully covered up and matter is till its life is there, it exists in the whole universe. So that way the secret of nature was revealed by Kapil Muni, and he gave a concept what chronological order, in the sense that what way Prakriti is taking what ingredients and how the creation proceeds from one end to other end. So that is a mystery. I mean, he has told the mystery of Prakriti or nature. Science has evolved in 20th century, but Kapila Muni came certainly 100,000 years ago, long ago, and he gave the concept, which now gets endorsed by the scientists. After development of particle physics, or you can say that quantum field theory, they also give, they provide the similar kind of concept what Kapila Muni had given, only terms or words are different. But concept given by Kapila Muni, revealed by Kapila Muni thousands of years ago, long ago, holds good even today. So that's why we can call him as the first scientist on the earth. And he gave the concept which is completely valid, which is getting endorsed by even today's science. So this is all about Kapila Muni, and he gave the concept. Now, let us see what way Veda tells about this concept, or what way Veda is coming into picture. In Rig Veda, there are certain slokas which tells that this creation started not, and behind the creation there was something. It is not that from nothing anything can come up. Means Prakriti has taken up the matter from the behind scenario, and that scenario was Purusha scenario. So to understand this perfectly, or little bit clear way, we have to go to the Akshar domain. Name itself indicates that Akshar domain indicates that there is no Chara. Chara means destruction. There is a domain in the cosmos where three things exist, and they do not have any kind of destruction. They are always present. That's why they are called eternal and infinite. So in Akshar domain, there are three substances or padarth. Veda call it padarth. They are God, soul, and nature or Prakriti. So they are eternal as well as infinite, and they never get destroyed. In the three substances, between God remains beyond creation. So only soul and Prakriti, they both are going to play a role in the creation. And by that way, Prakriti or nature gets the substances from the soul region, that is having a space and energy, and that those ingredients only nature is going to use to make any kind of matter in the universe, whether it is planets, stars, galaxy, or animates, inanimates. So what we understood from Akshar Padarth, that Prakriti takes the help of certain ingredients, and those ingredients are brought from the higher range or from the uh, soul range, or you can say from energy and the space domains. So that is the scenario. But Prakriti doesn't do the work. Prakriti is managing director. So she recalls one a special intelligence or one cosmic intelligence that is called Mahan. As we have seen the Mahan in the case of Jagrat Swapna Susupti, when the mind itself becomes a Mahan with the help of Prakriti, and the Prakriti helps to get the surrounding or condition, a sort of good atmosphere for mind to have the Sato Guna as well as Udana Prana, then only mind becomes the, mind gets um, mind becomes the Mahan or a sort of Mahat. Similarly, the case here. Similarly, the phenomena in the case of Sankhya principle also. So Prakriti calls Mahan, means make a Tattva cosmic mind as Mahan. And that cosmic mind brings all the ingredients from the upper zone or from energy and the space domain. To understand this scenario, let us take an example. We have seen in the Narayan Upanishad, the Narayan, once he wanted to, Adi Narayan wanted to emerge, then he had taken the two aspects. One is Sarupa, otherwise is Svabhava. And Sarupa is nothing, we have seen already, Sarupa is nothing but a sort of space, providing the domain of space, and Svabhava provides the domain of energy. And that is equivalent to science as a quark and lepton. That we have already seen while previous analysis of when Siaram subject Dani. In that analysis we have seen. Similarly the case here. Here Prakriti calls Mahat. So Mahat is nothing but universally divided element or universally present element, which is nothing but the cosmic dust. Cosmic dust, or we can say the which it takes a sort of which gets the changes inside that cosmic dust, or that is sometimes called formative dust also. So that formative dust or cosmic dust brings in one hand the Tanmatra. Tanmatra is nothing but droplets of energy. And other hand, the same Mahat or cosmic dust brings the power of the God, or you can say it brings the prana. So in one hand, neutrally charged ahankara, droplet of the energy is there, and the other hand, prana is there. So droplet of energy where Tanmatra comes down, that region becomes the space, or we can say that in scientific term, that is the quark, and other region where prana is there, that become ahankara. Ahankara means it is a sort of a domain by which three zones are or three segments are brought out. So that's why it is called ahankara. So one side is one ahankara related to tanmatra, and other side is two ahankara. And that tanmatra, having five tanmatras, sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, and gandha. And these five tanmatras bring five panchamahabhuta, that is ether, air, fire, water, and earth. So totally in the space side, there are 10 elements, 5 tanmatra and 5 panchamahabhuta. Similarly, other side, prana side, where ahankar is brought. Ahankar has got 3 domains. One is mind, other intellect, and third is self.
Only 2 ahankara are there.
And they, in terms, they are the possessor of 5 karmindriya and 5 jnanindriya. And they get connected with the whatever came from the space side. So altogether it is like a garland. Means both together join hands, and they become a sort of circular, cyclic way. Which from anywhere you can count anything. And Sankhya is also a counting. That's you see that how Kapila Muni has seen that how many elements are really taking part in any creation. So what he found that 5 tanmatra is in the base, and then 5 panchamahabhuta is the
Outcome of first ahankara and remaining 2 ahankara.
there. That is mind, manas, buddhi, intellect, and self, ahankara. And
Those 2 ahankara
takes care of 5 jnanindriya and karmindriya, means sensory organs and action organs. So in the one side, left hand side, Akasa side, they have got 10 elements or 10 in number, and in the Akasa side or in the side of Ahankara side, we can say now in this term, in the term of Sankhya or in the terms of Kapila Muni,
2 ahankara.
there is 13 elements, 3 Ahankara and 10 Indriya. So total 23 elements are taking part in creation. But Mahat brings all the things. So Mahat is another element is also taken care. So that is become 24. And all the jobs, all the creation is done by Prakriti for Purusha. So including Purusha, that becomes 25 elements. There is a verse in Veda that or in Sankhya philosophy darshan, Sankhya darshan, that tells, that verse clarifies there are only 25 elements in the visible universe by which any matter is being created. So these 25 elements get endorsement by the Kapila Muni, and he actually, Prakriti was already doing, nature was already doing. But once he had, he dove his research, or he dove his mind, pure mind to that extent, he got the clarity what way Prakriti or nature was doing the job, and that he found out very chronological order. What does it mean? Suppose he found out, but what message it gives? So it gives the message that whatever way Prakriti has done for us, we have become the matter. Now, if we know this process of Sankhya principle, then all the 23 elements which are present in us, or whatever way it is there, so those elements, if we purify, then we can reach to the topmost zone of Brahman. That's what message is giving. So he gives us a clue, or human being he tells that, okay, Prakriti has done the job, it has brought us in certain form, with certain karma and all things is done. But we have got this sort of privilege, or we can transform ourselves from the gross matter, whatever we are a gross matter, to the subtlest energy, we can get transformed. So that concept it gives. Now, as we understood that 25 elements are present in the whole cosmos to have the creation, whether creation of Brahman is there, or reaching to Brahman is there, or reaching to the very gross matter. Now, what is utility of this concept? Okay, Kapila Muni has given this kind of concept, and he did a good job for whole human kind, and he gave a sort of concept that by that way we can get evolved, we can further reach to the energy level, what being better level to energy level. So that itself shows that there is no, as Tulsidas is claiming, that there is no difference between Saguna and Aguna. As a matter, we are Saguna, and we can become the Aguna, reaching to the Brahman after evolution. So there is no difference, and there is no difference between energy and matter. It can be transformed anytime by proper or conducive conditions. So that way, that Sankhya principle also endorses the concept of Sagunahi, Agunahi, Nahi Kachuveda. But now let us see what is the utility of this. If that is a sort of clarity we got, there is no difference between Sagunahi, Agunahi, but is there any utilization, or is there a utility of this concept in day-to-day life or in certain other concepts, evolving other concepts? Yes, we see that this Sankhya principle has become the first, become the basis of Vedanta. It is also the basis of Bhagavad Gita. Basis means it has given the many aspects, many good analysis it gives with the help of this concept in Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna is describing. So it is the base of Bhagavad Gita also, you can say, and Vedanta, as well as Patanjali has also taken this as a base, and he has evolved further for making Chitta-vritti Nirodha, or getting the man without having any vritti in the Chitta or mind modification. What way Vedanta is utilizing this? In Vedanta, if you call any Vedantic scholar, Vedantic spiritual master, and Vedanta, he says that Vedanta tells that we all are Brahman. When we are Brahman, they say that now only, at present, at the moment when we are asking the question, when we are Brahman, that moment itself we are Brahman. And where you are Brahman, wherever you exist. It is not the Brahmanhood we can get in some sort of in some temple or some church or mosque, but wherever you exist, wherever you are staying, that there itself you are Brahman. That concept, evolving that concept and giving the clarity of that concept, that we are Brahman at the present, all the moment we are Brahman, and to have this clarity with anti-concept, they take the analysis of Kapila Muni, that is Sankhya principles. And similarly, Bhagavad Gita, as I mentioned, that 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the importance of Sankhya principle has been described, and the utility of the same is mentioned there. And now Patanjali, as we mentioned, that Patanjali also trying to reach the highest top state, and Patanjali further added in the Sankhya principle that Sankhya principle is okay, we can reach to the Brahman and we can come back. But how to hold the Brahmanhood, that is Samadhi. So he has given a little better, he has added some more, not element he has added, but process he has added, so that after reaching to Brahmanhood, we can enjoy the bliss of the Brahman. So that way, Patanjali had also taken its Sankhya principle as a base. In addition to that, if we go to the Chinese system,
Yang and
the
yin.
Chinese system principle they have developed is nothing but Purusha Prakriti concept here. But they have got one advantage by developing this, that they have used this
Yang and yin.
in principle, yang and in principle in day-to-day life, or we can say that this principle is very useful for their to keep them good health and prosperity. And that kind of analysis they can get it with that yang and in principle. In addition, science has developed in 20th century, and they also got the result in quantum field theory, or you can say the particle uh, elementary particle models. They also got the similar kind of concept, where they also get the 23 elements in action, as well as totally 25 elements for creating an object. That we'll see once while dealing with the topic. So what I mean to say that the utility of Sankhya principle are many. First of all, in Sanatana Dharma, what are the scriptures are there, or what were other methodology are there. There also Sankhya is the base, like Vedantic concept, like Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali principle, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. At the same time, it provides the good base for the Yang and Yin principle of Chinese system. And in addition to that, it has other science endorses the Sankhya principle, or Sankhya principles endorses the concept achieved by science in terms of particle models. So these are the utilities. Now, let us conclude that while analyzing all the things, we found that the statement of Tulsidas ji, that Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachuveda, Gavahi Muni, first he said Muni, Gavahi Muni, Puran Veda. Earlier episode we have seen, we have taken the example of Puran, and other concept of science also we have taken. In fact, we have taken the Brahma and Maya concept. But this episode we are taking the Muni, like Kapila Muni, what he gave the Sankhya principle, and how the same endorses the concept of Sri Tulsidas ji, what he has written in Ramayana, that Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachuveda. That holds good. Thank you. Let's have prayer. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Pranam to Guruji. Pranam to all friends of S-VYASA, and my humble pranam to the viewers. Friends, last episode we have discussed about the Sankhya principle, Sankhya philosophy given by Kapila Muni. And we found that he is a scientist who found the secret of nature, how the nature is making or getting all the ingredients, 23 ingredients, with the help of Mahat, and how the same is forming an object, and that all together 23 elements plus Mahat becomes 24, and all 24 elements are working for Purusha. So that way 25 elements are responsible for whole creation. That we have seen. And we have seen the utility of Sankhya in other fields like scripture, Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta, and even Muni like Patanjali has taken Sankhya principle as a base, In addition, we have seen that application of Sankhya principle in the Chinese concept of yang and yin. At the same time, its application also is indicated in the scientific domain. Today, we are going to take up the discussion related to what Veda tells about atomic science. The Veda speaks on atomic science and how the atomic science, what are the chronological order of atomic science, and ultimately we'll see that how the atomic science also endorses the concept of Sankhya principle given by Kapila Muni. It is based on that. And in other words, we can say that atomic science directly or indirectly also endorses the concept of Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachu Veda given by Sri Tulsidas ji in Ramayana. Atomic science, once we talk about atomic science or the Veda, what it tells in depth of that, Rig Veda, certain mantras, speaks completely on how the whole energy scenario of the universe is getting maintained, first getting chain reaction and then being maintained and controlled. So all things are mentioned in the Veda, Rig Veda, certain verses. We will try to take out the verses of those verses related to this. And while discussion, we will find that Big Bang defined by science, what the Veda tells about the Big Bang. Shortly, we'll see that also. Not only that, we conduct the prayer, we say it is fact that we tell with the help of prayer that Purnamada Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. That means that Brahma is Purna, complete, and from complete Brahma, complete universe is taken, even that Brahma is completely Brahma is complete. There is no deterioration or there is no any setback in the Brahma. So that also gets cleared with the help of atomic science once we are going to discuss what Veda tells. So a lot of things we can gain from this discussion. And let us start what Veda tells. Veda brings one of the verses or one of the mantra Veda tells that first of all, whole universe is filled with cosmic dust. Cosmic dust is nothing, a sort of formative dust. Billion, trillions of cosmic dust, formative dust, exist in the universe in the balanced state. Balance means this each dust, each cosmic dust consists of 3 particles and all are in introvert nature. For clarity, let us imagine one cosmic dust as a circle, and inside the circle from periphery at 120-degree angle, 3 particles exist pointing towards its center. So that is called, from dust have got the particles pointing towards center. Center means the whole dust is in introvert condition or balanced condition. It is uniformly, it is existing without any activity. It is completely balanced. So cosmic dust in balanced condition or introvert condition, having 3 particles pointing towards center, is called nature. Nature has got the dust, and those dust are not at all active. They are introvert and they are in a balanced condition. Then what Veda says, the effulgent light of Paramatma or God, that pushes or that acts on the each cosmic dust and make them active, means that introvert nature of particles at 120 degree, that gets extrovert. That becomes means all heads of the arrows inside or particles that gets exposed towards the surface of the dust. So this activity is done by the effulgent light of Paramatma. Paramatma is nothing but the full of effulgent light, completely effulgent light in the Nirakara Brahma. And that light only activates the sleeping dust, or we can say the formative dust which exist in the nature. Nature is defined by the same. What is nature? Nature is nothing but the billion trillions of cosmic dust in introvert condition without having activity. That is the Prakriti, that is the nature. So Rig Veda tells about that. The same is getting activated with the help of effulgent light. Further, what Veda tells, once all the cosmic dust, not all, whatever dust have been projected or brought under the light, effulgent light, they become active. Then how they get movement? So for that, another sloka of Veda describes that the reins of the horses pull them apart. And that kind of sort of imagination we have put on the slide, that how the two particles, we have taken only two particles for clarity, that how the two particles get pulled by having the force. So in that shown that each particle has got three projected outward extrovert nature of particles, and particles having a neutral charge, they are silent, but particles having positive and negative charge, they form a sort of attractive force, and that kind of force pulls them out. Means that gives a sort of disturbance in the among the particles, and that way particles move from one place to other place. So that is also described in Veda. And further, Veda tells that this way the original state of Prakriti or nature would have been the silent mode of all the particles. And here one thing I forgot to mention, that Veda tells about the particles in different names. Both are same. What Veda tells about the particles, Veda tells that inside the cosmic dust there are three particles named as Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama. Varuna has got positive charge, Mitra has got negative charge, and Aryama has got zero charge or neutral charge. Same thing is correspondingly or respectively, they are they have been indicated in atomic science. That is a proton having positive charge, electron having negative charge, and neutron has got a zero charge or neutral charge. So in Vedic terms, that Varuna is nothing but a proton, Mitra is nothing but the electron, and Aryama is nothing but the neutron. And this Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama, they are only exist. They exist only in the cosmic dust in the introvert form in the beginning, and after having the attack or a sort of shower of effulgent light, all gets projected outside. So that we have seen already. Now, once this Varuna, Aryama, or Mitra are in introvert, that is a state of Prakriti. But nature, Prakriti or nature, and that state is made active or in the form of inception when controller Brahman or effulgent light acts on the sleeping mode of particles. Then all the things we have seen in that Vedic mantra. Now, having all the things that the Vedas tells, and that atomic particle is also named in Veda as apah. Apah they call, apah with, otherwise meaning of apah is jala or water, but they are in fluid state. All the particles become a sort of semi-fluid state. And they just act upon or they move, as we have seen that the movement started because of the two forces, attractive forces, pull the atom. While doing that, while gaining the movement or momentum, they form the strong or a sort of completely stable type of atomic particle as a proton, electron and neutron, or in Vedic term as a Varuna, Mitra and Aryama. And these atomic particles, once having a stability, they are called Vasu, V-A-S-U, Vasu in Vedic term. And here in our scientific term, they are the particles. Most of us, we know that particles, once we talk, we are having only proton, electron, and neutron in scientific age. Because any atom structure, we have seen that in center, there is a neutron enclosed by the proton, covered by the proton. Both are existing in center of the atom, and orbit of the atom has got electron orbiting around that. So this is the concept of atom. But at the same time, particle physics, they have found the fourth particle also, that is neutrino. And in Veda, it is said that that fourth particle comes because of all the three, means Mitra, Varuna, Mitra, and Aryama, and they also exist, undoubtedly, but the three are the major one. After having the movement, once they gain the movement, then they form the air, means a sort of momentum forms the change in the neighboring place, and that way air or vayu has been formed. So these two things are the product of when effulgent light attacks on the particle cosmic dust, and they get activated and they form the air. So Vasu and air, Vasu and Deva is air. So they are the that has been mentioned in the Vedic term. So they are the formation of atomic particles after getting activated. In the long run, they just try to repel or try to attract each other. Like we know that if the charges are same, then they repel. If both the two positive charge come together, repel each other, and if negative and positive particles come together, they attract each other. So the same phenomena happens in the universe. And lastly, they make a sort of very stable kind of pentagon. Pentagon means a sort of a structure mandala, where 5 cosmic dust, active dust, are getting enclosed, having the exposure of their charges facing outward. But inward, they are balanced. I mean to say that any pentagon you can imagine, there are 5 corners, and each corner active cosmic dust is there, and there one charge, let us say positive charge, is facing towards the surface, outer surface, and negative and the neutral charge is inside, which are getting a balance, which are attracting other particles from other corner, and they are neutral. Means inside the pentagon, they are neutral, but outside of the pentagon, they are having positive charge. Similarly, negatively charged particle also does the same thing, and neutral particle also does the same thing. They, by forming the pentagon structure, they become very stable, and they are actually the part and parcel of bringing all the particles, all the ingredients of the universe for the creation. So each pentagon positively charged outer surface of pentagon, negatively charged outer surface, and neutrally charged outer surface. All the three are called Ahankara because they are very strong and they only govern, they only uh, attract the other particles of the universe existing in the energy form, and then only those particles are given to the Prakriti or nature to form an object. Let us see what happens. Positively charged pentagon, they have got all around positive charge, and negative and valence are getting equalized among themselves. So this is positively charged pentagon or particle, we can say that mandala in terms of Vedic term. That positively charged mandala is responsible to bring certain aspects of certain ingredients from the universe. Similarly, negatively charged mandala will attract certain ingredients, and neutral attract certain ingredients. So we see that what are the ingredients attracted by each. Neutrally charged mandala will attract the tanmatra. Tanmatra means droplets of the energy. So they are having sabda, asprasha, rupa, rasa, gandha. That is a basic sattva which has got the tendency to form the Panchamahabhuta. So let us make it more clear that
neutrally charged
pentagon attracts the tanmatra, that is nothing but that is a droplet of the energy, and they are of 5 kinds, and those 5 kinds are forming in larger, in a grosser way, that is Panchamahabhuta, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Similarly, positively charged mandala, which is another Ahankara, they are forming, they are attracting the 5 action organs, what we call karmendriya. And because 5 are there, so all are responsible for each karmendriya, so that way they form, attract. And those action organs are drawn into action, means taken in as a sort of ingredients for creation. Similarly, negatively charged pentagon or mandala will attract, will give a sort of, will produce the ingredients like all sensory organs, like what we are having hearing sense, smelling sense, as well as sight and tasting all. So those indriyas are getting activated, or those indriyas are brought and given to the nature for creation. So what we saw, that 3 ahankara, negatively charged ahankara, gives 10 elements like 5 tanmatra, and in turns 5 tanmatra give 5 panchamahabhuta, so 10 ingredients. Similarly, positively charged ahankara, that gives the 5 ingredients like 5 action organs of karmendriya, and 5 negatively charged pentagon or mandala brings the 5 sensory organs or karmendriya. So altogether, the 3 ahankara brings around 20 ingredients. And in addition, they themselves are 3 ahankara, so total 23 elements. With the atomic concept also we saw that it is handed over to the Prakriti or nature or creation. So, but it is this we have seen in Vedic terminology, that they are of active particles, atomic particles, which are taken into account. And that way, this 23 plus Ahankara itself means Mahat itself, which is first initial stage got activated. That is 24, and all 24 are working for the Brahman or for the Purusha. So the 25 particles are responsible for creation of any object. That was the secret of nature, and that is the secret of atomic particle, atomic science, and as well as the secret. But these two secrets, this kind of secret was found by Kapila Muni, the great rishi, who found the secret of nature, and at the same time that can be made use for the individual human being, so that furthermore advantage of this secrecy can be obtained. So we have, so far we have understood that how atomic particle came into existence, what was the prior state, and how that atomic particle got the movement, and how the atomic particle got framed as a sort of ahankara, or we can say stable pentagon mandala, and how these mandala have were in action to get the ingredients for nature. Now, let us compare this, what atomic science, Veda speaks on atomic science, has revealed. The same 25 ingredients we found in atomic particle language, and at the same time, Kapila Muni has given, already we have seen in last episode, so they are parallel or they are similar. One, and the last episode we have mentioned that Kapila Muni, what they have found, he has found, was his findings about Sankhya principle was endorsing the concept given by Sri Tulsidas ji, Sagunahi, Agunahi, Nahi Kuch Veda in Ramayana, holds good. So in the same fashion, same way we can say that atomic concept what we have discussed now, they also endorses the concept of Sri Tulsidas ji, that there is no Veda, there is no difference in Sagunahi, Agunahi. Here, in earlier form, one suppose once all the atomic particles were in sleeping mode. What was those mode? That was only Sagunahi. Prakriti means it was in simply a state, simply sleeping state. It was in Sagunahi. Means it was in Saguna form, in some form, and that's why this cosmic dust is also called formative dust. It was in form. And when the effulgent light action started, then altogether that becomes Agunahi. And all Agunahi means all the ingredients in Brahman was brought by Mahat to become the ingredients for creation. So this way we can say that Sagunahi means a sort of form, identity with forms, and no identity, have got no Veda, no difference. That we have concluded with the help of atomic science, as well as with the help of Sankhya principle given by Kapila Muni, those principles are, those concepts are having the backup of action done by the Prakriti or nature, the secret and nature was conducting that one. Now, what is the message we are getting with this? This discussion provides what are the message. We have seen that in science, modern science, the particles appearance, we call it after Big Bang. And here Big Bang is defined by the Veda is nothing but the action of effulgent light on the sleeping mode of the particles. So that is one difference. We can see that the difference is not there, but at the same time, concept-wise, it is not a Big Bang, it is sort of only energy transformation or making sleeping mode of particles in an active mode. So that is one message we got it. Second thing, the chain reaction in the universe is always controlled by the some tattva, that is Paramatma, because there is no adverse chain reaction. All the time, as and when Paramatma wishes, the universe gets expanded. And this Big Bang concept, according to science, is going on. It is not that once it happened, it is not going on now. It is going on. As and when universe gets expanded, it comes as this way, and there is no Big Bang, there is no big sound, but it happens automatically. This auto system is already built in the cosmos, and it is controlled by the Paramatma or by the Tattva, which is having the all control in hand. And we have seen the Prakriti also, we have seen the nature. Our nature is keeping all billion trillions of cosmic dust, and same cosmic dust become the Mahat, a sort of agent for Prakriti or nature to bring the all ingredients from the universe for the creation. So these are the messages, and scientists can make use of this Sankhya principle as well as atomic science given in Veda, along with it whatever they have found as a quantum field theory, and then they can find easily the inception of, or a sort of from root of neutrino, which is a sort of major scenario or major field for their research. They can easily find out what is the root of neutrino and where neutrino goes. In fact, if you go to the Vedic science, where it tells about how the formation of particle and antiparticles, about electron and proton, how it happens, both are going on naturally, and till they are kept apart, they exist. Means particle formation as well as antiparticle formation both exist till they are apart. They are not at all interacting. But when they interact, then one annihilates other. And that way, that the whole process becomes a sort of energy, pure form of energy, and that Veda call it that gamma rays is being formed. That all things have been given in the Vedic concept or in Rig Veda terms. So this shows what we have discussed, that there is a lot to gain from the Veda, there is a lot to gain from the Sankhya principle, and that way we can also endorse the sort of, we also get satisfactory answer for the Ramayan's statement that Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachu Veda. Now let us close this discussion. Let us have the Shanti mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Pranam to Guruji. Pranam to all friends of S-VYASA. And my humble pranam to the viewers. We have seen since last episode that verse given by Sri Tulsidas ji in Ramayana, that is Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachu Veda. There is no difference, there is no identity separately for Sagun and Agun. Both are same. Means Sagun and Agun Veda comes whenever there is a line of demarcation or a sort of separation. But what Tulsidas ji is telling, there is no separation between Sagun and Agun, there is no Veda, there is no difference at all. And that one we have seen from different angles, because what he says that Gavahi Muni Puran Buddha Veda means he is telling that whatever Sagunahi Agunahi Naikat Veda, that also is repeatedly told by Muni. Puran means Grantha, and the Buddha Purush as well as Ved. All are telling the same thing. So far we have analyzed, there is no difference between Saguna, Aguna from Muni point of view, from Kapila Muni point of view, taking into consideration of Sankhya principle. Then we have analyzed the same with the help of even Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures like Upanishad, including even modern science theory like quantum theory, quantum field theory. So by that way we have taken some of the scriptures, and by that way we have also seen that there is no Veda between Sagunahi, Agunahi. In addition, we have also seen that what Veda tells, by taking the Vedic concept of atomic science, that also we have seen that that endorses the same, that there is no difference once we are reaching to the Ahankara state where creation starts, where all the ingredients of creation is given to the Prakriti. So that way also there is no difference. Today what we are going to take, the Buddha Purush like Swami Vivekananda, what he tells by endorsing or by telling, by exploring the Advaita Vedanta concept, what way that one there is no difference between Sagunahi, Agunahi, what Tulsidas ji is telling in Ramayana. So we will take the whatever approaches or whatever approach Swami Vivekananda ji has given. Let us recall, once he was in Western countries, European countries, during his tour after the World Parliament of conference, and then he was telling the scientists to work on Akasa and Prana. That was for the scientists, but at the same time, similar concept he has given by giving one statement, particular statement, which is very famous by Swami Vivekananda. And that statement, what he tells, that every soul is potentially divine. To manifest the divinity, the control of inner and outer nature has to be done. And that how to control the inner and outer nature, for that he tells that to do it either by action or worship or by psychic analysis or by physical means. What he means that to control the inner and outer nature of our own personality or our own individual, we have to, we can take the help of either yoga, for yoga he telling, stressing, that is either with the help of karma yoga, that is what he telling, by action, by worship means with the help of bhakti yoga, then he telling with the help of jnana yoga or even raj yoga. And he tells that you take one or two or three or all, whatever way it is going to help us to overcome the inner and outer nature, what we are dealing to, in day-to-day life with the people, objects, places, and situations in the world. So that is what he is stressing. that first we have to control inner and outer nature, and for that he is giving four yoga as a means. And then in addition he tells, if we are doing all the things, then whatever scriptures are there, temple, mosque, church, Veda, Upanishad, all are secondary. He is not denying that they are not at all important, but what he tells, action is important, action is primary, and those things are secondary. Means all the scriptures and visiting temple, mosque and churches are secondary. What he means by telling secondary, those aspects will be a sort of a supporting document for us once we are actually practicing. And that will, those documents, Veda, Upanishad, church, mosque and temple, all will be a sort of proving our, or a sort of showing that whatever we are doing, how far they are correct, or a sort of, that will show the milestone of our progress. Suppose we have progressed a little, that also is written in the scripture, what way we are there. You have progressed a better way or in highest way, that also is mentioned. So all the documents, what he is telling, those will be secondary. They are nothing but they are going to have a sort of, they are going to be milestone for our progress. So these are the aspects he is telling while being Vedantic, or while being this advanced Vedantic, or we can say Advaita Vedantic. Any Vedantic master or any Vedantic scholar, if you meet, he will say that we are Brahman now and here. But that is very difficult to digest. We are unable to perceive that statement. We are unable to feel that. We are unable to explore that. We are unable to be sort of, we are unable to digest at all that kind of a statement. So for that, Swamiji says, doesn't matter, but fact is fact. Yes, we are Brahman now and here. But to have the sort of assimilation of that concept, he provides all the, what he has given the statement, that every soul is potentially divine. He first said, he is endorsing that yes, every soul, every human being is potentially, can get the divinity. They're potentially divine, so they can get the divinity. And for that only he gives the process of core yoga, and he is advocating to have a sort of practice, and that those practice could be endorsed by the scriptures or Veda or temple, mosque and churches. So this has become very, he's telling all the things in very systematic way. Now let us see what he means by inner and outer nature. We know that our nature, we have got, we are in 24 hours or in the Jagrata state. What we do, we deal either with the people or with the objects or with the places or even situations, whatever situations come across while dealing with them. So we don't deal more than four segments. Only either we deal with the people, object, place and situation. So that is outer nature. Our outer nature means it is day to day, our nature to deal with them. At that time, what is the background in that dealing? The background is our six temperaments, that is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Or we can say desire, anger, passion, jealousy, all other things are in the background while dealing with the people, object, places and situation. So all are existing, means all six temperaments are there in the background, and with that we are dealing. What is advising, if we are going to minimize these six temperaments, our behavioral pattern will change. It will have a very good impact, and then even in the Jagat, in the world, we will be more suitable person to deal with. So that is what he is meaning by the external nature. Not only that, even suppose some of us, we are having little control or good control over six temperaments, other malnutrition exists in our mind, that is chattering with the people or with the objects or with the situation in a inner way. Means our internal mind will all the time have a chattering effect or will chatter with these objects or person or places or situation. So chattering aspects of mind is another area or another difficulty in our external nature. So external nature is influenced by six temperaments as well as our chattering aspect of mind. Chattering aspect of mind is very, very in a deeper way. You see, because when we have little control over the six temperaments, this chattering aspect will continue. So what he says that we have to give the emphasis on the chattering aspects, and which has got the background of a malnutrition of mind. What we call it as a, we have framed it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A stands for abuse, B for blame, C for condemning, or we can say we are cursing, D for doubt, E for expectation, F for fear, G for grievances, S for hatredness. So all are existing in background of our mind, and that only makes us to chatter with others. So those we have to tackle. That is what is meaning, what Swamiji is meaning by external nature. Internal nature at the same time, once we are having little control over external nature, then what he says, to control the inner nature also. So what is the inner nature? Inner nature you will find, even suppose little we have got the control over chattering of mind, even six temperaments, but there will be a sort of imprints of raga and dvesa, means likes and dislikes. That will still exist, it will continue, whatever way it may be. Raga and dvesa means it is a likes and dislikes persist for a longer time, and that is in inner nature, and that exists at the starting point of Satchit Anand. Wherever existence is there, that point only it holds good. So now we will have this inner and outer nature, existence of inner and outer nature. We will try to understand where they exist in micro in inverse and macro inverse. Means we have got a model, and then we'll find that where they exist. In case of six temperaments, that exists at the point of Bindu number 4, because Bindu number 4 is a point of nature or Prakriti, and Prakriti only holds good of this. So mind is also have got a root there itself. So mind also stands at the 4, means the beginning of the mind. Mind is throughout, even top to bottom. But at the same time, the kingdom is Bindu number 4. So there only we have got six temperaments, and there itself we have got chattering of mind kind of imprints. So these two are external difficulties or external factors exist at Bindu number 4. And inner nature, what Swamiji is telling, that exists at Bindu number 3. That is the starting point of going to the or reaching or understanding the divinity, or to have a sort of understanding of our soul. So there it stands at the point number 3, raga and dvesa. So he says, unless Bindu 4 and Bindu 3 are cleared, we cannot reach to Bindu 2, which is the place of soul, or we cannot understand the soul at all. So for that, what he is telling, every soul is potentially divine, and that divinity is hidden by the imprints at window number 3 and window number 4, because soul exists at window number 2, but hindrances are at window number 3 and 4. So that is what Swami is telling. And he gives a beautiful method. He says that we can overcome, we can clear those difficulties, and we can reach to the divinity of the soul by practicing any kind of yoga, or he says that either practice 1 or 2 or all. Why he tells this? Let us examine what is our body and what way all our yogic practice evolves there. We have got body, we know in yogic practice, we know that in the body there is a left side, right side of the body, and in between there is a spinal cord. Right part of the body is called Pingala Nadi, having Pingala Nadi domination, and left side of the body having Ida Nadi domination. And Sushumna Nadi, the spinal cord, is Sushumna Nadi, where it is neutral. Means right side is having a negative charge kind of particles or prana, and the left side is having positive types of particles like mind, and in between in the Pingala path we are having the neutral charge domain. So as we have understood in Sankhya philosophy, or also in Vedic way of analyzing atomic science, so 3 ahankara is there. Here also 3 ahankara, like one ahankara is right side of the body, other ahankara is left side of the body, and third ahankara is at the middle of the body, that is a spinal cord. That is Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Once that is evolved fully, then it's like ahankara. And we have understood from atomic science point of view, these ahankara only bring they are responsible for bringing all the ingredients of creation. At the same time, these ahankara, obtaining these ahankara in a purified way or approaching all the ingredients, we can reach to the topmost point, or where ahankara has taken birth, or where the our Mahat cosmic dust starts acting. So those kinds we are seeing. So that is what he is telling in the yogic system, and that is what we are visualizing in our body also. So body, once we are putting in the same microcosm or macrocosm model, we will find that Sushumna Nadi is reflecting with the help of window number 1, 4, and 5, a straight way. That is Sushumna Nadi is straight. So in the our model system, either in body model or inverse visible inverse model, both place the point number window number 5, 4, and 1 reflect to the spinal cord or the ahankara existing there, or in a very common terms we can say that our breath, inhalation and exhalation exists here. Similarly, let us see about the right side. Right side is prana or Pingala path. So there also we are having similar kind of concept, where one of the charges like negative charge exists there, and the left side is positive charge. Positive charge dominated ahankara. So that we can clearly see in the yogic scriptures. And with that, after placement of this, we will see that if we are doing karma yoga, then 3 bindus are taking place in the karma yoga, and those bindus have to be taken care or have to be nurtured to get evolved. For example, karma yoga is a path of action. So there, bindu number 5, 4, and 2. If we work on that, this will be very effective, because karma is very, very difficult. Karma theory says it is difficult to obtain or difficult to become the karma yogi because it has got two yardsticks. One is to do the job selflessly, and second is not to have the desire of the fruits. Many times we get the first one, we do the job selflessly without having our interest or without we are not selfish. We do the job like service to the society, service to the poor, service to the downtrodden, and all we do. And we visualize ourselves, yes, we are selfless, we are doing the work. But at the same time, in one corner of our mind, the expectation of thanks or expectation of appreciation still holds good. So because of that, we feel means it is not a full-fledged or full-term karma yoga. Karma yoga have to have both the factors. One is a selfless job, other is no fruits of no desire of the fruits. So that is difficult task, but we should persist on that. We should get that one. So for that, we have to act on Bindu number 5, 4, and 2. Similarly, for Jnana Yogi people, they have to act the Bindu number of Bindu number 5, 4, 3, and 1. Then only this Jnana Yogi will get success. And a Bhakti Yogi person should have should act on Bindu number 5, 4, and 1. So that way it looks that less Bindu exists in Bhakti path. To people, that's why they say that Bhakti is very easy because less hurdles are there. Whereas in Karma Yoga, more Bindus are there to be overcome, and Jnana Yoga. In Raj Yoga, we have to agglomerate all. And in Raj Yoga, Bindu number what we are going to tackle is Bindu number 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that way Swamiji has given, and we have placed those action points as per Bindu, as per the nuclei, and that way people can work, any sadhaka can work wherever they are. They find easy path, or they have to, overall they have to take 1 or 2 or even all to overcome or to control our inner and outer nature.
Inner nature as Bindu number 3 and outer nature at Bindu number 4.
Then after overcoming inner and outer nature, we can reach easily to Bindu number 2, which is the place of soul. And after reaching the place of soul, reaching place of point Bindu number 1 is not at all difficult. That's why what the Vedantic concept tells, first is to achieve the divinity of the soul. And second, it says that to have the oneness with the Brahman. If these two aspects are taken care, divinity of the soul and oneness with the Brahman, that is what Advaita Vedanta is. And to get that one, only we had a difficulty. And Swamiji has very nicely given the chronological way, he telling very systematic way that how they have to be analyzed and how they have to be overcome. By that way, after reaching Bindu number 2, then we can easily reach to Bindu number 1, that is the place of Brahman, that is the nucleus of Brahman. So, Tulsidas' statement about Sagunahi Agunahi Nahi Kachudheda, there is no difference or there is no line of demarcation between Bindu number 2 and 1, because Bindu number 2 is the Sarupa of God. The whatever his own mirror image is there. Mirror image of 1 is Bindu number 2. So there is no Veda, there is no line of demarcation, there is no difference at all. And that once we go to the Advaita Vedanta, then also we see that there is no difference, there is no line of demarcation between Bindu number 2 and 3, or after being divine or getting the divinity of the soul, there is no problem to reach the Brahmanhood. So that is what we are Advaita Vedanta says. But at the same time, if we will analyze up to where Dvaita is there, and after that, where Dvaita becomes Advaita, that also is a good point of discussion. Dvaita exists up to the Bindu number 2 also. Dvaita holds good, provided we have not reached the full divinity of the soul. Or we can say, unless we become fully, we can get the awareness of soul or perseverance of soul, or we can say feeling and a sort of experiencing or awareness of soul, or unless we are self-realized, or unless we are having a sort of true I-ness, who am I, true I-ness, we cannot be fully claimed ourselves as if we are Advaita. We are still in Dvaita. What I mean to say is that till we are reaching Bindu number 2, lower than Bindu number 2, we are still in the Dvaita domain. Dvaita domain, still we have got Saguna domain. And after being experienced at that Bindu number 2, in terms of soul or in terms of self, then we are getting rid of Dvaita, we are become Advaita, and that Advaita has got reinforcement or enforced by being oneness with the Brahman, and that is called Brahmanhood. In this way, what messages we have got? In the Dvaita to Advaita concept or Advaita Vedanta, what it says? That we have to, from individual consciousness, we have to understand, we have to uplift ourselves, or we have to progress ourselves to the cosmic consciousness, that is Bindu number 3, and from there we have to still further evolve to Bindu number 2, that is absolute consciousness, and from absolute consciousness, from Bindu number 2, we have to go to indwelling consciousness or Sakshi Bhava at Bindu number 1. So this kind of progress we have to achieve to become Advaitic, and for that, Sri Tulsidas, our Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda has been very simple or very illustrative way of approach. By that we can reach to the Advaita Vedanta-hood, or we can easily get that concept by approaching or taking the ladders of Dvaita, and we will become we can reach to the oneness with Brahman. Actually, oneness with Brahman is not a good term. It is oneness in Brahman should be there. Oneness with Brahman is visiting type. It will go and come back. That's there. Till we are in the world, we will be oneness with Brahman only. But if we want to be as a Brahmanhood, or we want to remain in Brahman, then we have to have oneness in Brahman. So we have understood so far that from Dvaita concept to Advaita concept, Swami Vivekananda has given a very good pattern by analyzing our inner and outer nature, and also how to overcome that with the help of core yoga. Core yoga will help us to evolve that point. And at the same time, our evolution process can be milestone or can be measured with the help of documents like Veda, Upanishad, and Bhagavad Gita, and also by visiting, not only that, we are also by visiting temples, churches, and mosques. So two things he has given. One point is very clear, and by that way we have also understood that he is telling, he is also endorsing, or this Advaitic concept of Vedanta also endorses the concept given in Ramayana by Sri Tulsidas ji, that agunahi saganahi saganahi agunahi nahi kachu veda. And this time we have taken the analysis from the angle of a Buddha Purush like Swamiji. One more thing we have to remember, that Veda says that whatever we are doing, even being a spiritual master or being the scientist or intellectual. Veda provides the emphasis that if, and he is telling in terms of, Veda is telling in terms of Jnana Vigyan analysis. What it tells, Jnana is the, in the samsara or in the world, whatever knowledge we are getting, either in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and whatever, or even day-to-day administration knowledge, whatever we are getting, that is Jnana. And Vijnana, Vishesh Gyan, is a spiritual knowledge. So what he tells in that verse, that the Jnani can be halfway through, even if he is a very good expert in his own knowledge in the particular field, but he will be halfway through. Unless to get the full way through, he has to have the basic understanding of Vishesh Gyan or Vigyan. Vigyan, he tells about spiritual knowledge. So even scientist can become can be adhura or halfway through unless he gets the knowledge or basic fundamental aspects of spirituality. Similarly, he tells that the spiritual master will also be halfway through if he does not have any knowledge, basic knowledge, not deep knowledge or not be sort of very thorough knowledge, but basic knowledge of the science, whatever Gyan or whatever field he is doing or whatever field he is occupying. So that knowledge also should be there. So that both the knowledge, Gyan and Vigyan, have to go together. Otherwise, one is only halfway through. That is what the Veda tells. And this kind of clue Swami Vivekananda had got. And that's why he was telling in the Western world, or even in India, the best of the West, that is science, and best of the East, that is yoga and spirituality, are to be brought together in one common platform so that one get the advantage of others to overcome the difficulty, and that in that condition only human civilization will get the best of both. And that way he was giving the emphasis for common platform for Eastern and Western spiritual masters. S-VYASA is doing a similar kind of job. He is trying to bring the common platform and providing all kinds of knowledge, every kind of yoga, and that way, in scientific aspect, it is being brought here. So this way, the common platform is being established as the vision of Swamiji has given, and that way, S-VYASA is going to get the success. With this, we close. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful depiction on Hanuman Chalisa. Let's meet tomorrow again. Namaste.